I mean, it's a mixed kind of start, as you can see. There's a few seconds to go for the market open. The Nifty is down 20 and the Sensex is up about 20 odd points. So, neither here nor there. And of course, the big stocks that we're going to focus on, we mentioned a bunch. HDFC Bank, which is not seeing too much by way of traction. There is, of course, Federal Bank, which is the big mover, as we were highlighting earlier on as well, 6% lower. We'll see how it starts. There is Paytm, which I think was, at least in the pre-open, ended another 5% higher. And there's names like Whirlpool, etc. as well. 22,000, just under 22,100 is where the open is coming through for the Nifty at. And I think for the Bank Nifty as well, it's a slightly lower start, about 150 points, 46,385 or so is where that comes in. Advanced decline, I mean, it's almost almost 4:1 in favor of advances at this point. The Sensex is down about 70 points or so. It's a flattish, slightly lower start, but Sonia's got more rates. Sonia.
So, it's kind of like a Tuesday morning opening, right? Very, very quiet, not really doing much in the market, absolutely flat, with a bit of a negative bias on the Nifty, down about 30 odd points. The Nifty Bank is the one that I'm looking at because, here is where the pressure is really seeping in. So down about 128 points at the opening itself. And that's dragging the overall index closer to that 22,000 mark. Now, just to take it straight to a couple of individual stocks, right? The banks are in focus. HDFC Bank, the company said that the focus will now be on profitability. They will not chase high-cost deposits. But the stock is absolutely flat, not doing anything at all. Kotak Bank actually is the one that could be in the green. Yes, it is 1% higher after the management changes that have occurred, where KVS Manian will now become the joint managing director again. So Kotak Mahindra Bank in focus. Coal India was the big mover yesterday on the downside. Some more traction there on the downside this morning, down about 2%. The fall in e-auction premiums is what has spooked the street. There are a lot of brokerage downgrades that have come in as well this morning. So Coal India in focus. Next up, we have Godrej Consumers. They will divest their entire stake in the Mauritius-based arm Godrej East Africa Holding. It's for a small sum of $3.5 million, but the street likes it. It's up almost 1.5% as we speak. Apart from that, you have NBCC. The company has got 3 work orders worth 369 crores, and the street likes that, up almost about 2%. Torrent Power is looking to invest 2,500 crores in 4 projects in Uttar Pradesh. The street likes that as well, 3% higher now on Torrent Power. Deepak Fertilizers, look at that move, 9% higher on Deepak Fertilizers this morning. There's a 15-year contract with Equinor for LNG that Deepak Fertilizers has signed, and the street is giving it a 2 thumbs up. Apart from that, you have Biocon, down 3%. Jefferies has downgraded Biocon to an underperform from a neutral. They have a target price of 250, which is well below the current market price. In fact, since we're talking about pharma, let's take it straight to Glenmark Pharma as well. HSBC has upgraded Glenmark Pharma to a buy from a hold, and they've raised their target price to 1,100, which is well above the current market price. The management was also quite optimistic when we spoke to them a couple of days ago. There's about 25% equity that has changed hands on Whirlpool, so that stock is down about 2.5%. It's largely about stock-specific action. If you look at the headline index, is very, very quiet, just consolidating around that 22,000 mark. And the advance decline ratio right now is well in favor of the advances. So not a bad opening, flat with a bit of a negative bias, but all the action is in the broader markets. Back to you.
Well, sectorally, auto and IT are the 2 pockets where you are seeing weakness. So the Nifty Auto Index is down close to about 0.5%, as Eicher Motors, Bajaj Auto and M&M. All 3 of them are staring at a cut of 1 to 1.5%. And IT too is on the back foot, with TCS and Infosys leading the way with a cut of close to about 1.5%. So sectorally, that's the drag today. And the gains are led by media and realty. Media, and particularly Z Entertainment, the stock is up 6.5%. But the Nifty Realty Index is up nearly 1%. A couple of the other notable movers, where there is no news, but you are seeing a lot of price and volume action. MRPL is a laggard, 3.5% gone on that. SJVN is under pressure. Rain Industries is down after the recent up move that we had. It's up 24% this month, but today it's a bit on the back foot. On the gaining side, you've got Zaggle Prepaid, 9% and very large volume. Tourism Finance, where there was a block deal early in the morning. That stock is also up and about in trade. Paytm has gained nearly 5%. And a couple of the other Z Group stocks like Z Media too, seeing some buying.
Absolutely. And in terms of advanced decline, it's a pretty good start, right? Although the market on the index is down about 50 points, that is the Nifty, right? But in the broader market, as you guys have been pointing out, there is a lot happening on the upside. So I think the last one mentioned was Zaggle with a 10% pop. That's a big one. But look at Jindal SAW, which is up about 6%. Large volumes, 556 on Jindal SAW. Minda Corp is another one, which was, of course, there's news there. 3% higher, 437, 438. It was a mover yesterday as well. Look at EID Parry. It's got a bunch of businesses. Sugar is, of course, one of them. And it's been an underperformer, laggard really, but it's starting to make a move. 7%, 7.25% move on EID Parry now. Azad Engineering is up 5%. Shilpa Medicare, we were talking about this with Amnish earlier, 5% gain there, 434 on that name. Delta Corp ended 4% higher yesterday. And I think there were some comments from Rajiv Chandrasekhar yesterday at a conference here in Mumbai where he said, well, the government essentially wants to promote wants regulations so as to make sure that the industry sort of grows properly. Not sure if that's the trigger here, but Delta is another one which is up 3. There is Sequent Scientific, which is up about 3%. Tourism Finance Corporation, TFCIL, there was that large percentage block deal which happened in the morning. That is up about 5%. I think that's the daily limit for TFCI, Tourism Finance. TV18 Broadcast starts about 4% higher. And I can go down the list, but then volumes are a little lower. On the downside, there is of course Whirlpool, which we mentioned. Coal India, which ended down 4.5%, is down another 1.5% this morning. Federal Bank is the top volume-led loser with a 5% cut today. There is Rain Industries. It's down about 2% right now. Biocon is coming up. We just put out the brokerage call with, I think it's a downgrade on Biocon, 3% lower on Biocon. There is Patanjali, which is down 4%, Eicher Motors, which is down 2%, HAL, which is down about 1.5% as well. So that's the up and down. But market breadth overall, numerically, of course, is vastly in favor of what is doing well and what is higher.